on that book all around. Gaimin Gladiators versus Talon in this best of 3 game watch in the road.
Yep.
What's up, bro?
Seeing some unsurprising heroes and some more surprising heroes. On the list of unsurprising, we've got the Position 5 Nature's Prophet, which seems to be making an absolute splash right now. Also unsurprising, Ace playing tied for the 752nd time in his career. I'm just pulling that number out of my ass, but it's probably not that far from. Quinn on Storm for the 296th. But in the surprising corner, a 5 Omni Knight for the first time for us. And, yeah, that's probably the only really big surprise, to be honest. But we've seen, today you and I, we cast a Muerta carry, which looked great with a new facet. This is going to be what you guys are used to from last patch. It will be a 4 Muerta with Dance of the Dead. So this is very standard.
Hey, if we can get a variety of both, that's all you can really ask for, you know?
And I will say, speaking of classic, this is a combo that is pretty old. The Omni Storm combination. From back with old Omni Knight when he had the old Repel, which lasted longer and had a shorter cooldown. Nowadays, Repel is a monstrous cooldown. Still a very strong spell, of course, but
I was actually going to, funnily enough, I was going to bring that up as well. You know why?
No.
Because we bring it up every single time.
Oh.
It's been a while, though. I just remember years have passed, Cinderin.
Yep.
Now, one difference is you get more value by casting it once they have debuffs on them.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter as much maybe for a Storm that just cares about the debuff immunity more than anything else, but...
And also this game where there's not that many debuffs to begin with that will be placed on your heroes. So... back when Heavenly Grace was a thing, which, to be honest, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing that back instead of Repel. I thought Heavenly Grace was more interesting.
Yep.
Malady, speaking of, will be dead.
Yes. Tag team. We see it time and time again. The First Blood machine. They share the bounty.
In the meantime, though, Cuckoo seems to be suffering the same fate, but the lane is glowing, and so is he. He will be healing up with
Explain
the
this
sprouts.
facet, Cinder.
Yeah.
We only saw the old one, which has been deleted.
So Soothing Saplings have been changed now in this patch, and the way it works is whenever you cast Sprouts, all trees in a 1200 radius get a little healing aura. Heals for 14 per second on level 1, up to 50 at level 4. This seems incredibly strong, in particular in the laning stage, where you can out-trade almost anyone because you sprout them, they take damage, and you heal. So it's almost an AoE brain sap in a way.
It's not very good for Medusa, though.
That's true.
She doesn't lose health unless she's dead.
Well, it's a philosophical question.
True. Yeah, it's interesting, though. I mean, do you think the money bag is going to see another round of the hook stomp into
tag team,
and now double edge? That's what happens when you get more levels, is you get more spells as well.
Yep.
I mean, they can go for another round here pretty soon.
Yeah, 10 seconds. They'll go shards now.
Yeah, and the double edges, and this is going to be another kill. Not careful. One more right click suffices.
His bottom lane is not looking
dumpster mode in favor of Talon.
Yeah. This is what can happen when you have a little bit of a slip-up. You're playing double melee versus double melee, and one lane has Tusk. I know who I'm favoring.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you cut these deaths on Omni Knight. It really messes with the lane a lot here that Malady has these 2 early deaths. Now he's going to try to protect the Lotus.
Is this wise? Because tag team is up again. Purification is going to do a decent amount of damage. Watson finally making his way over. Malady is dead, though, as Watson will try to chase. WS gets the Lotus, and now Watson stuck inside the shards. Might be able to kill Jokam if he's not careful. The snowball going to cut it a bit. The stun to follow. WS with another hoof stomp for the road. And this is an absolute Gaiman shellacking in just this lane.
Yeah. Now think about this at home when you guys are playing your pub games and you get owned like this. What you guys will say is, okay, there's a smurf. And then you report one of the enemy players like, they're smurfing. Guess what? It even happens in 15,000 MMR. Sometimes you lose your lane 5-0 in 4 minutes. It's a real thing.
Now let's see if Quinn gets tilted by this, Cinder.
Yep.
He's got like a 5% GPK inside.
I was just going to say, speaking of, I was sure you were going to mention him, but just in case you didn't bring it up, I was there for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, got to make sure to give him a shout out literally every single game for no apparent reason. Quinn.
TP's in to try to take the rune. Quinn doing a lot of damage, but Makoto is there to try to assist, and the snowball save. Stun onto Quinn. They finally get their first kill. It's going to cost Quinn his life in all likelihood. Jokam will finish the job. And he actually runs away from Tofu.
This is an awkward path he's taking. He won't die to a dead shot alone. But, yeah, I don't know. Tofu kind of wasting his time here, to be honest, chasing him. Yeah, he's going to give up now.
He's going to get a bounty for his troubles as well.
Jokam with a very rare, what's it called? Oh, why can't I find the word for this right now?
Error.
Rare error. What's this item called?
I'm just going to let you think about it.
The one that he has.
The one that he has? What do you mean?
He's on fire. You didn't notice the tusk is burning?
Cosmetic?
Yeah, this is not a regular cosmetic, right? This is one of the ones that were, I think, Perfect
banned?
World exclusive.
Yeah, they were banned.
Cosmetic was the word I couldn't find. You couldn't find Death Ball earlier. I guess we're tied.
All right, why don't you go take a walk around the studio?
Yep.
I'll solo cast this for a bit.
Might be necessary.
Get a doctor in the house. Make sure you haven't had an aneurysm as well. That'd be good. All right, so that bottom lane is a complete disaster. Dumpster fire for Gaiman. Mid lane, Quinn, 25 and 6. Makoto, 26 and 4. It's very even. Of course, Quinn.
You want to kill Quinn before 6?
Yeah, that would be big inside of the Sprout and inside of everything, it seems. He is dead. Big kill. It's going to be a trade for the support. Laguna Blade. Makoto is level 6. Goodbye, Tofu. 8-2 advantage for Talon.
Panel was talking about it. They love when Makoto is playing heroes that can truly carry. Lina definitely one of those. We saw GPK do it yesterday. Shout out, of course, to GPK.
Yep. Big fan.
Yep. Set this up for yourself. Oh, he's going to get a regen here, Makoto. What a dream.
Man, this is just...
He just used everything on this mid-fight. It's like it never even happened.
I mean, the CS was close, but feels like the bottom lane is bleeding into the rest now. 2 deaths for Mr. Quinn, as Ace will pop the Kraken shell to try to stay alive, but yeah, this should be a death in this lane as well. He's actually really tanky. Gorgon's Grasp misses as Ace. He actually there's no way, right? Mystic Snake. Right clicks are doing basically nothing, not even in the Sprout. Jokam really wants to finish this off, but now you got the Repel and the Purification to deal with.
Oh my god, no way, man.
More are joining the party, joining this failed gank onto Ace. We'll pop the Kraken Shell again inside of the Sprout. 23 Savage and Cuckoo do no damage at all.
They will at the very least kill the Omni and bully out the Tide, so they're going to get the 2 Wisdoms, but I have to say about that kill chase, you got to throw a better Mystic Snake than that, right? Both of them, he just targeted the Tide instead of the creep wave in front of him. He needed the bounce bonus.
Oh boy.
To get this kill, but
they take both shrines
regardless.
Well, this is a absolute dumpster fire for Gaiman right now.
In spite of that not being perfect execution from Flipster Talon, they still have a great advantage, and all of this just starts from that bottom lane. 5 kills in 3.5 minutes. The Tusk is free to do whatever he wants. Centaur will free farm. And, well, what Jokam wanted to do in this game was kill everyone else. So,
yep, Cuckoo getting dove onto the tier 1. Snowball, not used to save. So Cuckoo will fall as Makoto makes his way over. Quinn is completely out of mana, by the way. Repel and Purification, though, to give him a little bit extra HP. Oh, he's stuck inside the charge. Jokam all over the place. Makoto will take him to the grave again.
He might run this down.
As Malady, nice dead shot from Tofu. Jokam,
okay.
Will he commit?
Oh, 23 Savage is going to see Tofu here. Will Jokam cut over? He will.
Tofu. Yeah, we got the Nature's Prophet coming as well. Nice block off.
Excellent placement there on the Sprout.
Dead shot, though. And Ace trying to help out his friend by watching. Will lose his life, Mr. Tofu. 11-4 for Talon, 4K lead. My goodness.
I mean, there's no way about it. Gaimin are getting stomped right now. This is the most one-sided first 8 minutes we've cast so far this tournament. I think just completely obliterating them all over the map. And they have a lineup that can keep accelerating. Nature's Prophet. Oh, he's going to chase here. Quinn onto WS. Would be a nice pickup for him. He's got the mana.
Still has some mana. Dead shot. WS eventually taken out. Quinn has to expend every bit of mana to do so.
Surprised they didn't send any reinforcements down there with TPs.
Yeah,
Both Prophet and Tusk had them.
Yeah, a +1 actually saves him.
Yeah, I would think so. But they want to remain around mid with the Tusk to protect Mikoto. He is 4-0, so he's a very valuable kill for Gaimin. And perhaps the read from the side of Talon was that Mikoto will be the target. He ended up going on the Centaur. Mikoto rushing the Maelstrom, similar to what I believe GPK did in the game that we cast. Maelstrom first. Haven't seen much caster Lina since that got nerfed. It got nerfed pretty hard, to be fair. So.
Ace, the only member of Gaimin not to die. And we can see why from the earlier engagement.
Malady.
Tier 1 tower will be taken easily. Malady will have to repel himself. That's going to be down for the rest of the game. 11-5 advantage Talon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and this is bot tier 1 tower as well. No one coming to contest WS. He's got the chainmail. I say that Quinn will TP bottom. This is a very unnatural move for Storm to make. It opens up mid.
And Joe Cam. This was a bit of a bait. Oh, the dead shot, not enough. Doom applied by Watson. It's going to be a trade, though, as Cuckoo comes in. So still a support for support.
Yeah, Cuckoo did a ton of damage with the Wrath of Nature there.
Now the Doom is down.
And of course, while all this is happening, free farming Medusa has the Dormant Curio.
I thought with the position 1 Doom, maybe you go a different facet, maybe. If you don't want to be like that guy that has to be active super early, which for this game, I guess he had to be anyway. But if you're just sitting back and farming.
I mean, Gluttony is lower GPM than not having it.
Yeah.
So it's not really a choice, I think, most of the time. You probably, on Doom, might want to move things around a little bit with the facets. Quinn, get out of that one.
Malady nearby, not level 6 yet.
Radiant's bottom tower.
I mean, this 3K lead, I mean, we've seen this before, 11K, it's fairly significant. But one thing we're not seeing is the XP. Definitely in favor of Talon at the moment.
Yeah, way in their favor. The support's still far ahead. Of course, Nature's Prophet, the type of support that can scale.
Interesting. Chipped vest on Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, I can't say. Wait, which options must he have had to pick that one?
No Obscurio, apparently.
No, definitely not, but he must have also not had the Cobalt Cup. I think the Ripper's Lash is also okay on it. I don't know, man. This one's weird. Chipper vest, or chipped vest on Cuckoo. Chipper vest.
One day.
Yep. Power rune for Mikoto gets the haste.
Yep, Talon are just getting everything. Every little tiny thing can go their way now with this massive advantage in the early game. The question is, can they continue to snowball this, or can Gaiman stem the bleeding? Malady level 6 now, so Guardian Angel up and running. Now we're going to see the blink for WS. Already has the Blade Mill as well, so... I mean, he's second in net worth in the game. He's having quite the time right now.
Yeah, this feels like the type of game where Talon are just waiting for key item timings, and then they're going to start kicking up the aggression, because they have so much to work with. I think with this Centaur Blink, we're looking at an imminent smoke here. Maybe you can try to contest the enemy's triangle and then take the 14-minute Wisdom. I would really love to see them make that play. I think pressing the advantage when you're in this spot is definitely the ideal way to play. And yeah, if they were to smoke within like 20 seconds, that would be perfect. It's coming out now for Jokum. Guessing he will want to connect with the hasted Lina as well as potentially a TPing Centaur. And that is exactly the play we're going to see. Love this. Prophet is ready to join from the bot lane with ults, as well as teleport in 15 seconds. So everything lining up. Now Gaiman should maybe anticipate this too.
This ancient stack.
It's gone.
They're going to get it in time.
But they're exposed now.
They are hoof stop with the Snowball Laguna Blade. Quinn gets deleted. A Blade Mail on Ace. Pops the Kraken Shell. Dies shortly after, though. That could have been a lot worse if I'm being honest. Oh, WS misses the hoof stomp. We'll have to retreat now.
I mean, it could have been worse, but it sure as hell could have also been better. They lose
At the very least, they got their stacks.
They lose 2 cores in a tier 2 tower and their wisdom shrine. That's not great. Okay, maybe they retained their tier 2, but it's still not great.
It's not good.
Now the levels chart is really going to start looking lopsided. Nature's Prophet almost level 9, so is Tusk. Omni Knight is barely 6.5.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And for the side of Gaimin, this is the biggest concern you would have with their strategy here, is if the early laning stage doesn't go well, what playmaking do you have except Storm? He has to make every move. You don't have an Atos on the Muerta. And it will be Quinn making a move here. See if they're successful. Their smoke breaks and they hesitate immediately.
Yep, it is Medusa, so...
Well, who did they expect to find here? They smoked into the triangle that Medusa's going to be farming. Medusa was there and like, oh shit, it's Medusa. And then they left. Now, okay, Quinn stole 1 creep.
Oh.
He stole 2 creeps.
All right.
All right, not bad.
Nice. That's hype.
Wait, what were they thinking to find there then?
Maybe a support
Maybe
stack.
they were hoping it would be Lina farming the triangle there, perhaps? And then Dusa was somewhere else? Must be, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Not sure what I feel about this blade mail on Ace.
Yeah, pretty unusual on a Tidehunter, I would say. Is Watson going to be the recipient of this Stampede Laguna? Goodbye.
Yeah. You can only play keep away for so long at this level. You're going to get caught multiple times around the map, and Gaiman's moves aren't working, but Flipster Talon's much more successful.
The lead growing ever so slightly. We have 2 Obscurios in the game on both Makoto and 23 Savage.
When can Gaiman even fight now? That's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. It's like...
Well, you certainly need a blink on Ace, I would think, right? He's going Crimson, actually. He's just going Ultra Tank mode.
Doom went Radiance, and he's going Midas.
Oh, he's going to use the Ravage onto 23 Savage. Out of mana, but has the Stone Gaze.
I can't even kill him.
There's a big zip available for Quinn. Not worth the risk, perhaps. I wonder how far he can go with that much mana at this stage of the game.
Oh, that's Ravage down, so... If Flipster wanted to defend, perhaps would be a possibility, but they can also sack the tower and just farm the map. Obviously can play very effectively around here with the heroes that they do have.
What do you think about Ace's build in general? Do you think they... I mean, I guess if you don't want to go Blink, you're just forcing Talon to fight into you, which they're going to try anyway because they have such a massive advantage.
Radiant are scanning.
It's a good Crimson game against Medusa, I guess, but... I don't know. Again, my concern is simply, yeah, you're playing to stay alive, but who's killing anything? Because if Tai doesn't deal damage, Omni Knight 5 has 0. It's like the lowest damage support in the entire game at this point. He will barely hit anyone. Maybe he will have a Purification that hits 1 hero. That's it. Tai does minimal damage with Crimson Guard. The Muerta is going Atos. Eventually Muerta hits hard, but it's going to be a while. And then your Doom is going Radiance Midas. So I don't know. I think Gaiman have already made the call of, all right, mission failed, boys. We didn't do well in lanes. Now we have to farm for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I don't really blame them for it, because I honestly think their read is correct. It's just really hard to play like that, and that is not how I have faith in gaming winning games. They're not at the top of my list of teams that come back in a game like this. They're a team that plays the Dire lineup. You know? They play the support Prophet, they run around the map, they take the towers and crush you. They play Pugna Skywrath, like they did at the end of last patch, and just run the map over. But when it's time for plan B, sometimes they've just drafted in ways that really need things to go in a specific manner, and when they don't, well, Tofu dies.
Yep, that is one way to put it. Quinn with the Electric Vortex onto Makoto. Brushing off the damage, though. Cuckoo making his way over as well. A little bit surprised that Talon just didn't continue fighting there. I guess they don't have the vision needed.
Yeah.
I believe all the Obscurios are gone now, sadly, Cinderin. Humbler's Toy was turned into that for 23 Savage. And the other one was the Brigand's Blade.
It feels so irrelevant to save it for a Tumbler's Toy. Might as well. But that's the thing about this. Like, sometimes people will save it and hope for a specific tier 2, and if they don't get that one, then they're like, okay, I have to take a neutralizer. He was probably hoping for an upgraded mana drop.
But they don't have to take it. LSA, Malady, able to get the repel off with the Guardian Angel as well. Makoto has a BKB, trying to fight his way out of it. That's a lot of damage immunity. Finds one, now the Stampede. Quinn running circles around him with Makoto. Still has a decent amount of mana back, but Cuckoo will force Quinn back now.
They have LSA.
Gets punched in the air.
LSA
misses, but the Laguna does not.
Oh.
And another engagement where Talon gets everything.
Critical error there from Gaiman. They tried to fight.
Yeah, don't do that. Not this game.
Not the play, guys.
Radiant's
Just,
middle tower
Talon have
is
shut
under
them
attack.
down from the beginning. God, he has the best mannerisms, I think, in Dota.
Yep.
So funny. I forgot what I was
I wonder
saying.
what he was saying. Like, what was he surprised by in that situation?
He missed LSA and I still died?
Got
Pipe
distracted
now
by the green
online.
trees. They were all glowing.
It is kind of distracting, I'll be honest.
It's pretty, though.
Yeah, I don't really mind it that much. WS has pipe now. Can I ask you something?
No.
Scanning.
Okay.
Pipe's pretty good here against Storm.
Sure is.
What do you want to ask? I changed my mind.
Oh, okay. I know that there's a lot of good items you can get. How can we, surely, at some point, Heart on Centaur makes sense? Why are we never seeing it?
It can be like a 5th item, 4th item sometimes.
I feel like I see it very seldomly. It's Malady, dead.
Bonk.
And for me,
just in time for Tom.
it's Torment time.
Sure is. They have tag team in 3 seconds. Torment time with tag team. For Talon.
Somebody died. It was
Tusk.
the Tormentor. Joe Cam with the upgraded ice shards now. It was either that or Cuckoo's shard, which is the undergrowth, overgrowth, something.
Curse of the old growth.
Yep,
Close enough.
enough.
You got the growth part, right?
Thank you. I usually do.
Where's Jenkins to laugh at you in the studio? We need him here.
At what point can they get Roche? Medusa's pretty pitiful at it, but
Yeah.
Lena can be
Butterfly
pretty
tag
solid.
team, she's not that bad.
And she already has Butterfly. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, there's a Medusa in this game just hitting creeps. It's nice.
Yeah, 22 Savage having the time of his life this game. 0, 0, and 2.
How many... Okay, if you had to guess, how many of the carry players in the world do you think enjoy AFK farming the most, and that's why they play the role?
How, like, what percentage?
Yeah, how many of carry players are like, I love hitting creeps so much?
Probably like 80%. 23
That
Savage.
is so sad.
Faking the Stone Gaze.
Dire's top tower.
Oh, here comes Jokum.
Okay, I'm going really deep. Going to force out the ult out of the Moretta. And some damage applied to the Tusk. The Ravage is going to come out onto 2. They delete 1, so Gaiman already on the board here in this fight.
Yeah, they have
Quinn
no more
getting
damage
low on
now.
mana, though, and yeah, I think they're running out of resources. As Ace, super tanky. Laguna Blade applied. Hoof Stomp to follow. Kraken Shell activates, but eventually WS takes him out. So ends up being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, they use GA, Ravage, Muerta ult.
No Doom, though.
They did not use Doom. And that was also Watson's BKB reveal. So, honestly, a pretty bad result there for the side of Gaimin Gladiators, but you can't really get much more, I'm afraid, for the time being. You have to buy damage somehow. Because that is the biggest leak in your draft.
Watson.
Oh, no.
LSA catches him. And he's just going to casually die.
Makoto 10-0.
Hey, he's beasting it up. 10-0 and 5. Not too shabby. Quinn has the SNK. We'll be going for the Parasma.
Yeah,
Let the rest of the talent into the pit.
Okay, do we have any other heroes buying damage on the side of Gaimin? They're getting Echo Saber on Doom. Tide's going Shard. And Muerta has Atos, so no damage. They're going to need another 10 minutes. And I know it sounds very black and white, but it just sometimes it just is, man. Like, who's going to kill this Medusa? I just can't imagine a world where they can kill 23 Savage if he's with his team. It's just not possible.
All right, tell me this, just based on the draft. Like, let's take the laning stage out of the equation. How do they kill Medusa? Just theoretically.
How they theoretically kill Medusa? Doom gets a mana burn creep. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do they?
Yeah,
do they kill
that's
Medusa?
What I'm saying. It's not a great lineup against
Medusa.
Medusa.
It's just been nerfed, but so obviously the balance has shifted a little bit, but I still think the hero is good enough in a game like this. I definitely think on a conceptual level, it's very hard for them to kill 23 in general, but yeah, when they're this far behind, it's borderline impossible to get him twice. So you have to kill the rest of the team, and that's always been the plan in this game from the very start, I think, for Gaiman, when they started game planning here, is you have to get the back line. Quinn, got to open on it, though.
And the hoof stomp on the other side, though, is 23 Savage. Has the Aegis. Ravage comes out, hits 3 heroes. 23 Savage is going to use his ult, and will be able to reset as a result. Dokkan with the punch onto Ace. Blade Mail activated, but they're not going to go any further.
For reference, in that attempt where they used Ravage, Medusa started that fight on 40% mana. So if she were full, it would have been completely impossible. On 40%, they couldn't even do it.
Yeah.
They also didn't commit everything, in fairness, but they don't want to because she has Aegis. But if they don't do anything, she takes all their towers. So damn it if you do, damn it if you don't kind of situation. As Quinn would say.
Much more southern accent,
Yeah,
though.
he would. I need a content piece of Quinn doing a cattle auction. I need it badly.
Yeah, pretty disappointing start here in this game 1 for Gaiman. I feel like the series that we cast with them earlier, I mean, that one game where they pushed in like 15 minutes, it felt like they had a plan, they committed to it, and in that game it happened to work out real well.
Yep.
This one, I don't know what the plan was against the Medusa. Even if it's an even laning stage, I think he would have trouble late game, but maybe they got something up their sleeve. A Lotus on WS. Not the most common pickup for the Centaur.
Also not that rare.
Not
in
super
this game,
rare, but
you're against Electric Vortex, against Doom.
well, we got the zip in from Quinn. Finds the connection. Nice calling from Tofu, but they see that more members of Talon are here. Do they have the stun lock and the damage? Repel applied to Quinn. Doesn't have too much mana to work with as the Ice Shards are blocking off Malady right now. And they'll be, at the very least, get him. Quinn now almost out of resources. Into the trees he goes. Hoof stomp hit. Nice find from WS. Big kill for Talon, and now they can continue down this lane.
Yeah, this is definitely high ground territory. We still have Aegis for a minute 40. Medusa has a Daedalus. As we've already established, she's tough to deal with. Keep in mind, Lina deals the same amount of damage, if not more.
Yep.
These two artillery cannons will get to work. Ace will wipe out the wave.
Huge anchor smash.
Yeah, it's very big, of course. He is a Walrus Eater.
He has Dead in the water now.
Yeah.
That's 23 Savage. Retains Aegis for another minute and 12 seconds. Looks like they're not going to take any chances here.
He's waiting for the next wave.
Is under attack.
Or maybe they'll take mid tier 2.
They go for the mid as the Centaur is leashed right now by the Dead in the water. Not a whole lot of follow-up here. The ult comes out from Tofu. Ace getting some help from Quinn. The LSA is not going to hit much, though. Feels like no damage is being done other than to 23 Savage, but does have the Aegis after all. Already
he wants
expended
to
his
burn
ult.
it here.
He will burn it. Doesn't have Stone Gaze to work with. Gonna dodge the Remnant and continue on doing his thing. Okay, he's actually gonna walk right into. He doesn't give a shit.
Are scanning.
Why bother?
Oh, nice illusion rune. That should help him out too.
A little extra farming.
Oh,
To add to
Makoto's
his
stealing
coffers.
more wisdom shrines.
Radiant's middle
Perhaps they wait for the next Roche, so back to farming. 14K lead right now for Talon. The Gunpowder Gauntlet taken by 23 Savage. What's the cooldown on that?
6.
6 indeed. Cuckoo, spotted by Quinn, who's now spotted by the rest of Talon. Always have the repel at the ready, so he's going to be fine. You see, in theory, how powerful that combo is. They're just so far behind. It's Quinn with a huge zip. Makoto, LSA only onto the Tidehunter as Jocam kind of stuck in here. WS is going to get him with a nice hoof stomp onto 2. Blocked by the shards as well. And somehow Jocam is actually going to live. And remember, Watson's the position 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Gets melted. Ace is next, and now ready to go high ground is Talon. They'll get this set easily. Still buybacks available for Gaiman. As Purification comes out, but Tofu stuck in a horrible spot. Will be the 3rd death for Gaiman here. Man, this is such a... Yeah, I think he's getting ready to stand up. A lot of farming for him this game. 0, 0, and 5 on 23 Savage. But that is not indicating the importance of his performance here.
Shannon, sometimes a spade is just a spade.
Yep, shellacking.
And Gaiman's lineup, I don't think this draft is particularly good, and they lost their bot lane 5-0 minute 3.
Yep,
It happens.
Easy as that.
It happens, and they just cannot deal with this pressure. They're going to try, though.
They will. Hoof stop onto Quinn, but the repel to save. Still stunned up a little bit. There's a Ravage onto basically everybody from Talon. Quinn, though, has to retreat. Where is the damage coming from? WS and Jocam against Watson. They will win that engagement as the Laguna Blade applied to Ace. Another one bites the dust for Gaimin Gladiators. 23 Savage is actually very low and does not have the second life, but it matters not. GG's called. Whew, this was a rough one.
Yeah. Well, we have a bit of catching up to do on the schedule after that.
Don't shake the kitty too hard. Game 2, welcome. Talon versus Gaimin Gladiators. If you missed Game 1, if you're a Gaimin fan, or you like Flan, don't watch
30
it.
seconds to battle.
Actually, don't watch it regardless. It was not entertaining at all. We did a bad job of making it fun as well.
Well, if there's anything tournament organizers love, it's when the casters say don't watch the
Don't watch Game 1.
It's very good. It was an excellent game if you like Carnage. Watson, we'll get away from trouble.
Pop the smoke, and this will be a trade.
Makoto eyeing up the top rune is getting help.
Battle begins.
All right, let's talk about some of the picks. So Makoto will be playing the Lina again. He has been beasting it up on this hero.
Yep.
Cuckoo on the Silencer, which we were questioning just in general if this hero would even exist after this last patch, but it's looked okay, actually.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. And on the other side, I guess the interesting ones, first of all, Tofu playing Rubik.
Yep.
Haven't seen Rubik in quite a while. Watson on the Ursa, Big Bad Juicy Bear. And then Quinn on Monkey King with the new Facet, where you can switch places with a soldier in your Wukong's command.
Can make some really high-skill plays against, in particular, Lina with that here, where you can dodge Light Strike Array.
Yep.
I guess you can break Kunkka combos, potentially, with it.
Yeah, that's true.
So that would be interesting to see how Quinn plays around with that. And of course, when it's this early days, this might be his first game playing with this Facet. So he might need to get used to it a little bit in a game like this, at this level. It's one thing to have tried it in a pub or in demo mode. It's a different beast when you're playing against a coordinated team, such as Talon. Yeah, a couple of curious things here. Last pick Beastmaster. See how that goes. This hero has definitely been nerfed quite a bit this patch. So it went from overall first pick to sometimes last pick, it seems. And this time around, Gaimin choose to put Ace on the Doom instead of Watson, identifying that they think this is a better Ursa game than Doom game from the carry position. I don't know how much I love Ursa here, to be honest. And I also think some of Gaimin's more lackluster games have had Ursa in them, so I'm not too convinced until I see them run away with it. There's a lot of kiting. Ursa doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Skewer, RP, Beastmaster summons can be annoying plus Roar. X-Mark plays. Heroes surviving because of Ship. Can be a little bit tricky, but in a vacuum, Ursa, one of the better heroes at just killing Lina. She hates when heroes get on top of her and just burst her, and that's what Ursa generally is a very adept hero at doing.
Yeah, and I'll say this very confidently. So far, the Watson lane is going much better than last time Cinderin.
Yeah, doesn't take much. Just don't feed 4 times in 2 minutes and you're off to a better start.
That's right.
Than last game. Oh, they killed a boar there. It's a little, might seem like a little thing, but killing a boar here and there and maybe a hawk, it's a lot of experience and can snowball you to a faster level 3. Already see a little bit of an experience advantage. Malady is level 2 to the level 1 of Joachim, and Watson's almost level 3. So they are ahead by a decent amount. Malady will try to pull the wave here, but Joachim interrupting it. It's going to pay for it with some health, though.
Yep.
But important to not let them connect this onto the hard camp. That's where they can really get a lane advantage. If this pull completes, Ursa and Ringmaster can zone you off the camp together between their slows as well as a blood grenade. Watson getting 6 stacks of wild axes. Needs to be a little bit careful here.
Yes, he does.
WS about to crack level 3 for stronger. Hawk and Boar seems to be the choice. And he is going for what Effie was hoping to see, which is the Helm of the Dominator. This item has been buffed this patch and the Ags got nerfed. So what used to be, I want to say 2 patches ago, it was like a 50-50 split between Dom and Ags. Then last patch it was like 95-5 in the favor of Ags. See what it's going to be now. So far the Dom will be the choice.
Is that not predicated basically on the facet as well? The facet chosen?
Yeah, he chose Wild Hunt, so he's going to go this route. But last patch, almost everybody took Beast Mode and went Axe. Do a different approach here. Malady. No skewer. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's
Tomato
actually
time and a whip to follow. Eat your vegetables.
Neutral creeps want to game 3. They just love being farmed so much. They do.
Well, they don't have memory of the last time, so.
Yeah. Sure that they're stuck in some infinite loop of the day after tomorrow.
Another boar goes down.
Dire's bottom tower
But how is mid lane supposed to go? Because right now, we see Quinn on 20-9 versus Makoto's 19-5. So slight advantage for Quinn, especially in the deny department.
Yeah. I feel like this is a lane that Lina generally pulls ahead at least a bit in, but it's kind of close early on. And then her harassment gets stronger and stronger, but it's also a very high skill lane, right? If you dodge every Light Strike array with Mischief consistently, like usually Lina wins lanes against heroes that can even farm as much as her by forcing them to buy regen. But Monkey King can dodge a lot of the Dragon Slaves, and if he's successful at that, can inch out an advantage. He had to buy some tangos there, though. I want to say first time in this lane. Makoto trying to pump fake the Dragon Slave now to bait Quinn, but he's doing a very good job at holding until the actual cast comes through. But so far, so good for a more competitive game. By having 0 kills,
That's right.
we're off to a better start in a way.
Everybody just farm.
Yeah.
It's fine.
This bottom lane should be getting difficult for Doom. He's going double Bracer to have some regen and some sustain against Kunkka, but eventually, when Kunkka hits level 5, these Tidebringers, they start racking up. And Ace will probably skill Devour, he will, and he needs to find a creep, ideally, that helps alleviate this pressure, either by mana burning the Kunkka or having more regen for himself. For now, it will be the Chain Lightning. Can't say that covers either of those 2 bases.
60 mana.
Yeah, he doesn't have the mana to sustain this if his lane partner doesn't have
He
Arcane
was just
Boot.
hungry. He'll get it on the next one.
Yeah. Well, you can choose not to take the spell at all, which would make no sense, of course. Yep, thank you. Time for Power Rune. See what it is and where it is. Makoto covering top, and he will get lucky and unlucky at the same time.
That's right. The worst rune. The worst. Lots of getting chased by some boars, but he'll be just fine as Quinn finds a silencer, gets the Jingu stacks, and will walk away to be able to punish Makoto, potentially.
Yeah, he used Boundless to start to connect onto Cuckoo, so couldn't go for the chase down kill. As you said, Watson being poked by the bear up top by the Beastmaster. Poked by the boar, I guess you should say. He's now reaching level 5, so these boars are starting to hit pretty hard. And What you might think is a traditional good matchup for the Ursa has changed over the years and is kind of difficult now.
Let's talk about the Rubik.
Yeah.
What spells does Tofu want to steal?
I think they only picked this because of Magnus. That was the reason. That was a mag pick. They want to steal Skewer. They want to steal RP. They want to counterplay when he blinks in. This is a traditional counter to Magnus. You see him approaching. You pre-click telekinesis. If he blinks in, you lift him. If he doesn't, you're still in a good position by being in the back line. Of course, there's additional spells to steal now. They picked Beastmaster into it. Primal Roar is amazing. No doubt about that. And if you can somehow steal Global Silence, that's also incredible, but Cuckoo should cover that every time.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
Savage
Quinn makes
first
his
death
way
of the
over.
game.
23 Savage falls. Ace first blood. Gaimin up 1-0.
Yeah, it's one of the big strengths of Monkey King, just very good at this rotation game. Has cost him some experience, though, as Mikoto has just been staying mid while Quinn made the attempt in the jungle onto Silencer, and now the successful connection onto bottom.
Have to say, I know Monkey King's been in the game for a long time, Sinner. One of the best designs, though.
Yeah.
I feel like he's... I mean, I guess some people are complaining about the hero being too much in the meta, which I guess is true for a lot of heroes, unfortunately, but...
Yeah, we were having a conversation yesterday about, you know, there's some heroes that we both are kind of tired of seeing in almost every game, which include, for me, it's Morph and TA. For you, it's Morph terribly. You know, some of the carries that just get picked all the time. And then we were talking about, well, what's a hero that we wouldn't mind being in the meta all the time? And I guess Monkey King is one of them that isn't, like, at least he's entertaining to watch. Like, the play style, the way he moves across the map, the dynamic.
In his heyday, he was a support as well. Like, he can play and flex it a bit.
Yeah.
Mine was Pango. I know people got really sick of Pango, but I feel like he's just fun to watch in general. 23 Savage.
Insta Ghost Ship.
Yep, won't hit anything, but
off.
will force Gaiman back.
And that was essentially just smoke and mirrors. There was no threat. Gaiman were just posing like they had a gank coming in, but it's just the two of them, and 23 was afraid. And now he has to go back to the jungle to farm because he doesn't have his Ghost Ship, so it's scary. But as I say that, he will return to lane once more, probably from seeing Quinn mid. Makes this feel just fine for him. But now Tofu going through the gate. Excuse me, Malady going through the gate here. We'll find Cuckoo. High ground advantage.
Yep, Watson comes in. The bear has arrived. Chompy, 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 yum, 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 yum. So Watson getting his first kill of the game.
Dive, but no.
Middle tower is under
No bueno. All this is happening, of course. WS will be farming up a lot on this offlane Beastmaster. He's getting space. And Mikoto has not been involved in anything either. So the side of Talon with a much slower start than last game. The nature of their lineup will do that. You want Beastmaster to scale. You want your Magnus position 4 to afford a dagger, and it's kind of hard to make plays to begin with. So will be a calmer early game for them. This is a really good find for Quinn, the Invis rune. So now currently this invisible tree heading bottom. Unfortunately, Valve never made an invisibility animation for the tree, but this is not visible for 23 Savage.
That's good to know. Thank you.
I think.
Unless there's a bug.
Yeah.
Well,
he was on top of a sentry, so it was visible. The tree itself is invisible, but if you have a sentry, you should see it moving.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Kind of funny. Imagine you're farming a camp and suddenly a tree just spawns next to you.
Well,
and it's Monkey King.
You'd be attacking.
Are fortified.
You'd attack out of it, right? So you wouldn't actually see the tree. Unless you talk about
if you have a sentry, yeah. You have a sentry and then the...
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Malady level 6.
Play the Jaws theme.
Joe Cam. No RP quite yet.
Yeah, Malady's actually almost 7 here.
Posturing a bit. Yeah, this is the same facet for the Magnuses that we've been seeing with the 5 levels on Shockwave.
Yep.
Which is the old Shard, the level 5. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you just get that for free when you're level 9, and
that's really nice.
That was what we've seen some amazing standout games from Baboka on that. Now Joachim will see if he can do him proud. probably the lowest amount of kills you and I have cast in the game at 11:30 here.
It's not.
This tournament.
It's the calm before the storm, though.
Yeah, of course. This is gonna ramp up eventually, but a slow
Quinn with balance
start.
strike, whip to follow. Jocam.
He is actually okay for
Pure.
now.
He will pop the Lotus and is fine. Watson gets clipped by the Arcane Curse as that is stolen.
Just gonna walk in and smack the Dom creep.
Watson still working on the Battle Fury. Makoto has the Boots of Travel. It's going to be Maelstrom next. Not a big shift in itemization. And the Radiance for 23 Savage. He has the Talisman and is 1,000 into the Relic.
The Talisman starter is a lot worse than it used to be because his item got nerfed by 5% evasion. So it's 25% worse for no reduced cost. And of course, the completed Radiance is also worse since it retains that worse evasion number.
And what does Quinn want to go for? So looks like it'll be Diffusal Blade. What are your thoughts on that? I feel like we mostly see that when there's a Medusa on the other side.
Yeah. I think it's like we talked about, this is a game where you really want to get on top of Lina and stick. And obviously the Diffusal Blade does that for a time until she gets BKB.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Disperser for global at some point. You're going to go for BKB anyway, but
yeah,
having a secondary version for the long run.
I'm kind of with you. It's not an obvious game for this, but I think most of the time Monkey King wants one of 3 items. He either wants Mage Slayer, Diffusal, or Maelstrom first. One of those 3. And in this game, I think Mage Slayer you could make a case for against Lina, but she's going to mainly play right-click as well, so she's going to be mixed. The Beastmaster's going Dom, so there's no Drum of Slom.
Now Wheel of Wonder finds 23 Savage along with the Doom. The boat comes in, but he is mega dead. He will tick away. Ace wants the full XP. Oh, he tries to
that regardless.
die. Yeah, that could have been close.
True, if he didn't chase him, he could have died to neutral, so kind of like that. WS will kill Tofu in turn without Roar. They only use Laguna for this. Caught him off guard, and WS with a very early Overlord here. Ancient Black Dragon in hand. 14 minutes, a Power Rune will be bottom. Malady will see the regen, and now it's time for Wisdom, which Jocam will happily take up top. And you would imagine Quinn will maybe go for the one on the right. Now, Quinn is trailing by a level and a half now against Makoto, and also 1,000 gold.
Wow, yeah.
And this is what happens when you play Monkey King and you rotate a lot and you don't find the plays. It's just an overall efficiency loss, so there's a lot of pressure on you to connect successfully, but Talon have done a good job at not bleeding out too much.
I feel like we saw exactly this in the previous series we casted them, right? Nice
little highlight here. Just the RP, and then WS shows up and finishes the kill from the right. In just a moment, there it is. So it was a good try from Tofu onto the mag, but not quite enough from the tank yet.
Helm of the Overlord.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Black Dragon.
Dire's top
Extra
tower
armor,
is under
nice
attack.
push. Talon with an early 1K lead, nothing to write home about. I mean, what kind of pace do these teams want to play with? Typically, when you go for the Helm of the Overlord, you want to push the envelope a little bit early. You got to blink now on Magnus.
To me, the thing about the 1K lead here isn't that it's a massive amount or anything, but I am a little bit concerned for Gaimin that they're not able to find more pressure on the map with the lineup that they have. Mid Monkey King has made 1 kill in 15 minutes. Your cores are farming okay, but as I was saying prior to the game, I'm not sure how much I love the matchups that they have. I think this is a pretty good game for Lina overall when she gets farmed enough. And of course the last pick Beastmaster, top of the net worth chart, will be taking advantage of that to get the Roshan here. The dragon is super tanky. 15 armor and good HP regen.
Yep, quite an early Rosh. WS will be the recipient of that instead of Makoto. We'll be frontlining a lot, I suppose. I feel like we see that more often when it's the Aghanim Scepter build and not the Helm, but
yeah.
You think it should have been on the Lina instead?
Probably would have rather seen it on the Lina here, but it's okay. I think either way you're putting it on someone who isn't Kunkka. These heroes are more likely to
be the target and make aggressive moves. Oh, mass rainbow TP here.
Oh yeah, Wheel of Wonder actually gonna hit as Quinn comes in to finish the job on Akuku. He doesn't get up his global silence, but the roar, the
That's a
RP
fat one.
on the 4 heroes! They get put on the cliff as well. Malady finds his way out. There's no deaths on Gaiman. As I say that, Malady drops eventually, and now, finally, Talon come in to finish what they started. The Arteezy special. As 23 Savage gets put on the cliff now.
All right.
It's a party. Looks like the Beastmaster is going to survive through the Doom. That is amazing.
5 heroes cliffed within 30 seconds. That's a special
Oh, that was
one.
disgusting. What an RP.
And imagine that situation if Talon had more heroes there. He had to skewer them up on the cliff because there wasn't backup, and this way he could at least keep them contained until reinforcements arrive. But this is a beautiful RP. And you can see on your minimap here, Lina too far to the left and Kuka too far to the south.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good.
Really great presence of mind, too, to make the decision to put them up there.
That's one of the best plays of the tournament, for sure.
Just recognizing that they won't have time to kill them unless they place them there. Effectively a 10-second stun. So that Lina and Kunkka get over there. Beautiful scenes there from Jokum. 3K lead now for Talon.
Yeah, just off of one fight, essentially. Now they have the Aegis, of course, still 3 minutes on it. Tofu going for the denied room, or the ward, I should say, but he's going to be caught. Does have Skewer and the box from Malady as we have a roar on the other side onto the Doom as Quinn's going to use the Wukong's command. Beating onto WS, but they've already lost the Doom here. As 23 Savage gets off the boat, will walk away as a Skewer coming from Jokum. He's just going to get eaten up by Watson, though. The rest of Gaiman are able to retreat, so it's a 1-for-1.
We're seeing some of the potential there against the Lina. Mikoto took so much damage from the Wukong's command. Once Lina gets caught in the middle of that, things can get spicy, but eventually he will have a pike. He's going for the Dragonlance first, which is pretty standard. When
That's the Monkey King.
This is a big
Mikoto.
kill. Finally for Quinn.
Solo
Something
kill.
good. This is as big as it gets. Killing the enemy mid alone in the jungle will give him a massive recovery. Nothing comes for free, though.
Oh, yeah, she gets the stun, but Torrent connection from 23 Savage. It's always a trade of sorts, but yeah, that time Gaiman gets the better of it. I don't know, this support Magnus is, we're seeing him more often now, and it's looked good more often than not, I feel like.
Every game we've cast has looked good so far, I think, in this patch.
And the Empower doesn't even have to be a thing.
No.
Malady actually gets off the whip mid-skewer, boxes himself, makes it more difficult, will fall eventually.
Just everything he had in his fanny pack there.
Wonder when Quinn's going to buy the shard. He is very good at using that on the Monkey King. As we're going to see an RP onto said Quinn, into the roar and the global. No spells to steal as a result.
Silence.
And Quinn back down on the bottom of the net worth for the cores at the moment. WS with that Black Dragon will apply pressure to this tier 2. Actually, think better of it and go to the north instead.
Dire structures are fortified.
Fortification pretty early, I feel like.
Yeah, that should be a free tower now. The next wave is coming in. Almost impossible for Gaiman to even think about contesting this without their Monkey King.
Oh, you say that. They're going to TP, though.
I think the tower's already effectively lost. He's going to move away the Black Dragon, so maybe not. Would have kept hitting it, he would have almost been through it by now, but all right. Actually successful defense there from Ace. Gets the tower down to about 20%. Time for Torment, maybe.
Radiant are scanning.
If they scan, though, maybe a little bit hesitant as Gaiman have everything at their disposal right now. Crimson Guard picked up by Ace.
Same build
Along
as
with his
last
Blade Mail.
Just on a different hero.
Yeah, it's true. The
Well, he went
Tide
Midas
Hill.
this time because he's Doom, but yeah. Blade Mail Crimson.
Haste.
Right, definitely good.
And now it's Torment time.
Yeah,
There we
it's
go.
a small delay. All right, so Shard. 23 Savage actually got his Shard already, by the way. That's really early.
Yeah.
As Jokam will get his.
Additional range on Skewer and more damage when you skewer them across trees or cliffs. Quite nice. When you're playing Fishing Magnus, it's nice to get more skewer range for free.
Yeah.
Can initiate from further away from your team.
Now you can cliff them from a farther distance.
Yep. I doubt we're going to see another one of those this entire tournament. That's a true rarity. Can't remember the last time I've seen 4 heroes cliffed by anyone, including Darkseer.
Top tower is under attack.
Very, very uncommon. Here goes the tower. Eventually,
Dire's
they can delay it, Gaimin, but it is inevitable.
Yeah,
Similar to
Beastmaster.
game 1, they're now in a tough spot in the mid game.
Yep, true. 6K lead. Beastmaster now with the BKB. Makoto, Hurricane Pike soon to be. And for 23 Savage, obviously he's had the Radiance for quite a while. Has enough for the recipe on BKB now. So this is actually a pretty large power spike for Talon. Don't have the Aegis, of course. You could wait for the next one, potentially.
Yeah.
But either way, this is a pretty good timing for them.
Especially considering Makoto now with this pike also has the upgraded Brigand's Blade. That's the unleashed version. He's going to hit very, very hard. And even if heroes are Crimson Guarded, as long as they're low enough on HP, he's going to be able to pierce through it because of that percentage-based Dark Mercy passive on that blade.
Oh, they're going to find a connection onto Ace. Global Silence to prevent anyone from helping him. He's really tanky, but not tanky enough. Quinn with the Wukong's command now. Applying some pressure to 23 Savage. As WS getting pressured by Watson. He's already popped his BKB. In fact, they all have.
X-Mark.
Quinn, I'm not sure I've seen the soldier thing yet, Cinderin.
What did he X-Mark?
Pay attention to that. Oh, the box to save Quinn. Oh, but he's going to get RP'd on the other
Stolen?
side. It was stolen, but he gets skewered from such far range away. Getting some nice lifesteal, though, thanks to that Jingu stacks and that 23 Savage. Completely out of mana and now HP. And there's the RP from Tofu. Going to provide Watson an opportunity to right-click to his heart's content. Cuckoo dead. Now the Tier 1 tower will fall as well. Big fight for Gaiman.
Yeah, they strike back. Important for Quinn to have the Sanjin Yasha there so he gets to stand his ground and turn that around.
Wanted to talk about that. Watson went for BKB. I'm not saying this is the wrong choice, but look at how many things go through. You got RP, you got Global, you got Roar.
You have to buy a defensive item on this hero.
I was thinking S and Y for status resist,
Yeah.
but, you know.
I just don't think it's enough. This hero needs freedom, so you either need Axe or you need BKB, but Axe is not good against Silencer.
Yeah.
So you kind of just have to pick this one. I think it's the right choice.
Feels bad, though.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you have BKB, you blink in and you go on someone and they have to roar you and you don't die, that's already a very big tool, or RP you when you don't die. You just BKB, especially when you get the Basher, that's when it gets really interesting. You just blink on top of Lina or Kunkka, you get started on the fight, pop your BKB immediately when you go in. If you think they're about to use a big spell on you, you enrage. It's better than it might seem.
Quinn wants to fight, gets the boundless strike off. Watson jumps in. Wukong's command not really going to do too much. They're going to be able to take out the Triceratops along with the Silencer. Wheel of Wonder, not too much effect as the boat.
Oh, nice box!
Very nice. It saves him just for a moment, though. Eventually does fall anyway. That looked pretty sick.
Yeah, it was
After all that, it's just 2 supports dead.
mid Laguna. He boxed him up to save for later, but he got taken away by the tidal wave. I really like 23 Savage's choice of buying it, by the way. You did mention the early shard that Kunkkas don't usually buy when they're carry.
Yeah.
Tidal wave against Monkey King, right? You want to push him out of the ring. And also push back the Ursa, push back the Doom. All these chasing heroes really hate getting pushed away. So I'm very much on board the 23 Savage ship with that purchase. Have an even game on our hands again. The 6K lead from Talon has
evaporated.
Yeah, they just conquered it. Gaimin recovered this game nicely when they hit their mid-game stride. And they want to keep going. They're going to smoke up. No Wukong's command, but they have Doom and they have Enrage.
You can see the path that they want to take. It actually looks pretty good for Gaimin. If they can get the jump, 23 Savage might be the one to break the smoke, though. And yeah, with that, Gaimin have to redirect themselves. Mikoto has the shield rune right now, so quite tanky.
Great read from 23 there. It's good positioning. It was very clear he was anticipating the smoke and just going to break it. Just standing still there.
Can get the Doom onto Mikoto. It'll dispel the shield rune as well. Obviously, that's the target you want to probably go for anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, the Prowler has been taken over now.
Radiant are scanning.
What does he have other than the root? What's the other thing?
The Desecrate ability, the one where you stomp and reduce base armor by 50%, but it's hard to use in fights.
Very good against Terrorblade for once not in the game, though.
Yeah. Its creep is kind of hard to use.
All right, so Gaimin on the other side of the river. Talon are aware. Smoked up right now. Jokam looking for an opening. 23 Savage, the only one to show himself right now. There's an RP. Skewer was stolen. It's on top of the Ursa. Watson dead to the Laguna Blade, and the fight's just over. Ace follows suit, so 2 cores dead and into the Roche Pit. Talon go. And remember, this is against an Ursa, a hero that it feels like is required to get Roshan.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the double skewer and now the tidal wave. Everybody's bouncing all over the place. Tofu will eventually burn away.
He got the Wisdom Shrine at the very least. It wasn't a complete waste of time, but Mikoto gets this second Aegis. I'm a big fan of that. It makes a ton of sense to prior the Lina. At this point, he's close to level 20. Gaimin have not made it a secret that they want to focus Lina first every fight when able. This gives her a lot more freedom in the upcoming fight. You can see from Mikoto, very aggressive build here, not thinking about a BKB. He wants to go Daedalus next. So full-on hard-hitter artillery long range, but if you were to get jumped, not much to fend for yourself except the pike.
I mean, really the main save, well, I guess you have the RP skewer play, but Global Silence.
Yeah.
It's kind of what they're relying on, it feels like.
Middle tower is under attack.
I think there's some merit to Beastmaster buying bongo boots here, but WS will just keep the casual drum and go Scythe. In theory, the boots of bearing are very good against Monkey King. Just get out of the ring ASAP now as they kill the dragon, but it's going to cost them. Quinn!
Oh, the skewer, LSA, Laguna, everything.
No.
Quinn is dead. Another big pickoff for Talon. Ace. It's going to get boxed. Tidal Wave, that's Tofu's, I believe. Wheel of Wonder not going to do too much here. Actually, Mikoto runs into it for no reason. Forgets about that interaction. Watson applying some pressure to 23 Savage, but will have to enrage and get out. Meanwhile, Doom used on the Magnus. That is a support, but at the very least, Gaimin gets something.
Yeah.
Mikoto barely gets out after walking into that Wheel of Wonder. Still has the Aegis, of course. But there's so much time on this, you don't want to expend it yet.
It looked like Mikoto was trying to keep max distance to the wheel without activating it, because he was trying to put pressure on the Doom there during the Ghost Ship, but that Wheel of Wonder from Malady acted as a great deterrent in between the two heroes. But as it stands now, Talon back to their 6K ways.
I wasn't paying attention to any of the Obscurios, Cinderin. Oh, there is one. Well, it's been consumed. Cuckoo upgraded his Signet, so a tier 3.
Yep.
And
pretty strong on silence here, this item.
That is it. It's the only one.
Yeah, the tier 2 one has been replaced. Mikoto had the upgraded Brigand's Blade, but we'll replace that for a basic Gunpowder Gauntlet. I can't say with full confidence that's better when it's the unupgraded version, but surely these pro players have done the math. Pro e-gamers, as some would say.
I don't know. A lot of pro players have not done the math, I can promise you.
Yeah. Probably none of them.
They
Actually.
rely on their coaches mostly.
And instinct.
Yeah.
Plays a much bigger role in Dota than you might think. Players are
23 Savage, X back. Oh, fast BKB. Gets the tidal wave off, and reinforcements have arrived. There's a boxed creature inside. It is Malady. He's actually really annoying to kill. Gets the whip off, but Watson, obviously the bigger kill. If they can actually grab him, Shockwave pretty important into the... Ooh! RP canceled. Thanks to Tofu getting off that telekinesis, and that actually saves the bear.
And saves himself, too. So all they lose is Malady on the Ringmaster. Not too bad.
That could have been so horrible for Gaiman. WS. Looks like Sheepstick is next on the list for him into an AC.
Hex, of course, as always, one of the items against Ursa. Even if you were to get Ags, can't use it during Hex. But also, of course, an amazing tool against Monkey King. And at this level of play, if you try to blink Roar carries, a lot of the time they'll react in time and get BKB off. You have the Hex, there's no counterplay. Just instant cast, and then as the Hex is about to fade, you can roar them after.
Oh no, not the Ogre.
Done.
Granite Golem, poor thing.
Bye-bye, Golem. He's gonna find himself a new friend. Oh, it's his family. It's his uncle. Ancient Granite Golem is back. Actually, can't tell them apart at all.
Yep. That's racist against golems.
Well, you tell me what the difference is.
There's one polygon missing.
Okay.
It was taken from Morphling. Makoto will be actually rewarded with the shard.
If the Golems took one polygon from Morphling per game, Morphling would have disappeared 3 days in.
So 100% of the damage dealt by Laguna Blade is converted to an all-damage barrier for Lina that lasts 10 seconds. That's cool.
It's really good.
Is that something that they typically will buy? I mean, obviously at some point, but...
sometimes, yeah. At some point, indeed. Because you start the fights by casting this because of thermal runway, right?
Yeah.
So you immediately send out your Laguna for DPS purposes, and then you have that barrier.
Oh, the Yule's actually successfully used, forces the BKB, but now the global silence, and now the counter action coming from Makoto with the sideline. They're going to get the Roar and the Laguna Blade, trying to delete two heroes here on the sideline. Jokem does pop the RP, but here comes Quinn with the Wukong's command. BKB activated. Watson is taking so much damage from Makoto, has the damage rune. Watson will die of his own accord. WS getting gone on by Ace, attempting to TP out. The Infernal Blade was already used. He actually does get out just barely. Meanwhile, Makoto deleting another support user, Hurricane Pike onto Quinn, right into the arms of the Silencer. And that's a triple kill for Ace of all heroes. So it ends up being a 3 for 2. With the buyback, actually. Oh, that's a dieback on Tofu.
Tofu died twice. It's a pretty close exchange. If it weren't for the buyback gold, this would have probably been more or less dead even. But a slight little win there, 1,000 gold going Talon's way. And of course...
Looks like it went Gaiman's way.
Did I say Talon's way?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That's good effort.
Yeah. Wait, which kill streak did they end to get that much gold? There must have been a streak, right? Oh, they killed 23 Savages. Savage. 23 Savage had a killing streak, and the kill on him was worth 1,500, which was way more than Watson. So, yeah, just a couple of... It also makes sense when you're behind that much gold that you get a little bit more the other way. So, pretty standard. Gem now purchased for Cuckoo. See who will give it to. Probably the Beastmaster, I would imagine, but... Maybe they fancy their chances of putting on Jokem. He is dying in some of the engagements, though, as he finds his skewer. He kind of gets punished, and yeah, it does look like it's beelining for WS here. But he'll have to swap out his boots to carry this gem. Malady, oh, close call. Didn't get spotted, though.
"30 seconds away from Roche potentially spawning. Shadow Blade now picked up by Jokem. This will help a lot. Feels like the Rubik has been a thorn in his side to try to counter-initiate. Speaking of Rubik, in the trees. as a smoke comes from Talon. Nullifier on 23 Savage for the box.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, that's big. And there's a lot of defensive items like Glimmers and Yules.
Bit of a stalemate here as they wait for Roche to announce himself. Wait, we won't know. Let's look at the clock here. Oh, it's pretty quick one, actually.
Yeah, like 30 seconds away. And Gaimin should be the first ones to see it. But at the same time, their top lane is very close to the base, and looks like Mikoto wants to force them back here with the siege wave. This will definitely require some sort of rotation.
Siege.
Quinn's there. They even placed the banner. This is cute. They're not even committing here.
Yeah, that is cool.
They just place the banner and let the creeps go to work, and Quinn doesn't want to show.
23 Savage, he's going to pop the smoke here first. The jump is there, but 23 Savage already with the BKB. Gets the tidal wave. Doesn't really work that well with the X in that scenario. The double siege is still there, I believe. They get the tower. Now the instant hex, but Watson able to get out of it. Trying to kill this ogre, it seems. Zelina just barely nightfalls away. Now the Yules onto Jokam. Another tidal wave. These are just all over the place. Skewer taken by Tofu. Quinn with the Wukong's command. Only one hero inside, but it's an important one. 23 Savage gets onto the outskirts, though. And now the jump from Quinn to continue this pressure, but the tidal wave again. Watson with the enrage. Mikoto's finally made his way back into the things. The torrent onto 2. The counter skewer from the Rubik, though. So far, it's only a support for support, but Mikoto now a little bit outnumbered. Quinn with the Jingu stacks. Ace actually blocks the path of Mikoto, and a Boundless Strike finishes him off. TP successful from 23 Savage. Cuckoo will be run down eventually. So Gaiman come out on top, or do they?
They lost the barracks.
That was just from 2 siege.
Oh, it's a banner. So it was a fat wave.
That is.
The creeps couldn't die.
Wow. That is such a cool play.
We haven't. I don't remember casting a game where they did this.
That is really cool.
Just leave the banner there and go fight somewhere else, but pretty cool stuff. Now, the really big play here, or the really big thing about that fight is
it's not over. Axe is into the pit. They jump in. Roche is not even low at all. Watson going to town on WS. He actually ends up on the other side of the pit, but they do take out WS, and now 23 Savage trying to finish off Quinn. It's going to be close. He uses Mischief, but not able to stay alive in the end. Gets off the BKB from 23 Savage. Tidal wave again. Watson getting kited into the pit. He's like, oh, I'll just kill Roshan, no problem. But the RP to follow. Instant Yules from Tofu. Jokam in a lot of trouble. And the RP stolen. Roche is taken for Watson.
And now they have RP. They used it once, but he's going to have it again. This spell steal is going to last quite a while now. So at least one more usage of the RP is available for Tofu, and that's big. Because that was the biggest difference between the previous fight and all of the other ones in the game, was that RP was unused. Jokam never found the opportunity. He got countered out. He got boxed out first. Then he came back and once again couldn't find the angle.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Now, with this Aegis, this game is looking wide open for Gaiman. They're laying down. Doesn't matter very much. Minute 40. Can deal with that just fine.
Tower is under attack.
Ace is so fat, by the way.
Yep.
Shiva's overwhelming blinks, SNY, Crimson, can sell his Midas for the Octarine. My goodness. Beast mode. Do you continue with the Midas for a while? Get one more use out of it?
Well, if he could sell it now and buy Octarine, I would say no. But I don't think he can do that just yet. So yeah, one more use. And I think get rid of it.
Quinn, damage rune. That's a scary one.
Well, he is a regen rune with damage rune.
That's true. That's very confusing to new players.
Yeah.
Valve, please fix.
I think Mischief in general is confusing to new players.
Very true.
Why is this tree moving? Why is this rune moving? Why is Roshan walking across the river at 1730? Why is Roshan walking across the river in general?
Oh. The Global Silence has to be used to try to save 23 Savage. He's going to pop the golden item as well. That's not good news for Talon. Wheel of Wonder just thrown out there.
All right, well, that's a trade of ults, I guess, but
It's a
Global
carnival.
easily the bigger one.
That is one
Radiant's
thick
middle tower is under
creep.
attack.
The Krauka.
Ancient croaker. Gets the congregations of the deep and
killed.
dies. Poor thing.
We will miss you, Krauka.
He's a bloody croaker. He's a chicken chaser. So Gaimin with the Aegis for another 2.5.
Firm grip on the map here. You can see the hero placements now.
Can you go back to that?
The good news.
Did I say water bubble large?
Yes.
What?
Because the medium version of this has water bubble medium,
But
and the small one has
there's a
water bubble
level
small.
indicator on the top right. It says level 3. We need large. That's awesome. Imagine if they did that for heroes.
Yeah.
Titan quite large.
Yeah.
Delectably large. Morbidly obese large. And then American is the final level.
Oh. I could eat an American.
No, you cannot. Absolutely not. Oh, they find a tasty treat. It's a silencer. Dead for a minute. No buyback.
Well, I guess if you've got the tier 5 neutral that I was suggesting where you can go beyond level 30, then level 31 Tide could be American.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
There you go.
Yep. Just needs to level up enough. Well, Silencer's dead, but only for 40. The beauty of being relatively low level on Cuckoo here in this mid game, or I guess we call it late game now in Dota at 40 minutes. That's actually an interesting question. When do you think mid game ends now? Because I think it's changed this patch. It feels like the games go later and it's harder to end so far, in some of them anyway.
Yeah.
So what is a late game for you now?
What is late game?
Yeah, what's late game?
45 plus, I guess.
Okay. Because in the past, I would think of it that way too. But what generally constituted late game was that, oh, heroes are starting to get 6 slotted, right?
Yeah.
But that starts happening at minute 30, 35 a lot
I mean,
of the
there
time now.
there is a new tier, though, that exists. It's not just this patch, though. It's the extreme late game. You're just saying it happens more often. They're not really going to use the Aegis here on the Gaimin side.
Nope. It's going to expire.
Radiant's
It was
top
interesting to
tower
see that
is
Watson
under
went for
attack.
both the BKB and Ags in
Yeah.
this game, by the way. But got good use out of it last fight. Now with level 25, 2 Earthshock charges, easy to stick onto targets.
Yep, along with the Shard, one of the best in the game.
Yep. Tough to kill.
And they know the Aegis is running out in 10. See if they can find a jump.
Radiant's
Gaimin
top
are about to
tower is
connect,
under
though.
attack.
Ace has 5,500 HP. Just wanted to throw that out there with the Granite Aura.
Okay.
Overwhelming Blink.
Jokan looking for the connection, finds the skewer. Makoto with the early BKB just to try to take out this Doom. It's going to be close. He's going to get bashed though by Watson. Pops the Enrage. The Doom finally falls. No buyback here. Is the double BKB now from the Talon side. Watson, BKB with the Enrage. As the Earthshock to try to get away here, but there's the RP. Is there the follow-up, though? No, Quinn jumps right on Makoto. Beautifully played from him, as Jokan does get the skewer on the sideline. Cuckoo getting bashed by the Monkey King on the trees. There's only 2 members
Quinn's
of Gaimin
actually
alive here.
stuck in here.
Can they find Quinn in an awkward spot? We'll get to the other side. He still has... Okay, he's just dead.
What a sick skewer.
Wow.
He placed Quinn right above the cliff so he couldn't reconnect to the fight, but he keeps the other target below. That could not have been played any better there by Jokan, with the exception of maybe being able to skewer on his RP, but I think perhaps...
They lost 0 somehow.
Yep, that was
That's
just a
so crazy.
completely clean 9,000 gold win there for Talon, and it's going to turn into way more. Gaimin only have 1
Dire's
buyback.
middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, this is going to hurt.
Dire's
Talon
This
don't
time
know
around,
this
they got
for a
building
fact.
damage.
They don't know it for a fact, but they're obviously going to test them. Like,
Yeah.
What have you got?
I mean, this is minimum 2 lanes.
They're going to go tier 4s.
Yeah, there's a tier 2 bot, so they can't go megas. It's either go all in now or reposition.
If
There's
Quinn
the
hadn't
first
bought back
buyback.
there, they would have gone straight for Throne to force it out.
There is a
anyway.
fortification out for these tier 4 towers, but this is going to be a 2 versus 5 for the next 15 seconds as 23 Savage and company looking to finish this 2-0. Triceratops going to help out with this push. Very important to mention that. Terry the Triceratops is just destroying this tier 4 tower. He gets whipped. That is animal abuse from Malady. Will get away with murder despite dinosaurs being extinct. as Talon now on the retreat. So they get the 2 lanes officially.
And a Quinn buyback.
Quinn buyback and 1 tier 4 killed.
And this is a buyback they have to use and still can't fight with. It's super awkward and it's really frustrating because usually when you buy back in your base, you want to do something with it, but you have to buy back as a deterrent there. If you don't do it, you lose your tier 4s and you have to buy back anyway. So you might as well do it earlier and hope they get scared and back off, or you can somehow catch them in a weak moment, but not the case. In the meantime, bottom lane has also been pushed in. The siege creep's going to work together with the boar. I think this lane will actually, this tower will fall if Gaimin don't get down there. And they might be hesitant to do so because all the enemy heroes are missing. But now Quinn will go and boundless it away, I guess. Oh, he's cool now. Well, it'll fall. Eventually. This tower is important to defend, if possible.
Oh, yeah.
Roshan death timer will be announced to us in 6 seconds if we could read clocks.
I wouldn't say announced exactly.
I'm ready to read the clock here.
A cryptic clock.
Here it goes. It is in...
Oh, it's about the same actually.
35, 40 seconds here.
Yeah, pretty fast again.
Yep.
That's going to benefit Talon if they check the pit. And looking at the neutrals, anything catch your eye.
WS could just put a boar in here.
What's that?
You could just put a boar in the pit.
Yeah, they could. So Outworld Staff, which I assumed was the worst neutral ever put in, has been picked up pretty consistently. Cuckoo using it as a survival tactic to just be able to hit the R button, of course. Yeah. Has the debuff duration added to it, so
Radiant are scanning.
Longer global and whatnot.
Yep. Rosh is spawning now.
Smoke from Gaiman, though, so they do have to deal with these creeps. Like, the lanes are continuing to push. He has a creep up there continuing to push that top lane.
Watson, Blinken's get the... Okay.
Watson's going to take the very important illusion rune. Worth the risk. Ancient Ice Shaman, the ugliest creature that has ever existed in Dota. Got a major case of the underbite. Swiftly taken out by Quinn. And this is going to be the Rosh for Talon.
Say goodbye to Kevin from the billiards club. There goes Rosh.
This fire will never go out.
Aegis, refresher, banner, and cheese. Full shebang. Currently holding the refresher is 23 Savage in his backpack. He was buying refresher orb anyway, so now he can just have this one for free for the next fight. But could maybe be worth considering giving it to Magnus? Perhaps. Jokum's been delivering. He'll find something. Now that he has his Lincolns too, it's not an instant counterplay for Tofu. He has to, well, it kind of is if he's fast enough, but just having to do that extra click can be the difference between getting RP off or not.
Dire are scanning.
Now, in terms of buybacks, there's quite a few in the game right now. Only 3 people do not have buybacks, 2 of which are on the game inside. Really, the main one is Quinn, 4-minute cooldown. Everybody else is gold related. Oh, Jokum, he actually found something that looks so weird. Well, they get a free pickup on the Malady.
That's a gem.
Indeed, 100 seconds, but has the buyback intact, and that's the tier 2. So if they can poke away to get the megas, this will create a lot of pressure constantly for the game inside.
And this is one of those luxurious positions you are in when you have support Magnus, is that you're just waiting for a slip up. At some point, somebody's going to get out of position, you're going to fish them, and you're going to kill them. And if you fail, you're support.
Now,
Take the risk.
Why is that not the track for Pudge support then?
Because Pudge is a worse hero.
Okay.
It's not the same at all.
Gotcha.
And also Pudge can't pull you behind your team, just to them.
Okay. Maybe we can institute that into the next patch for Valve if they're
And
listening.
also you can react to the hook flying and you can't react to Magnus appearing behind you.
And Pudge is really fat as well.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Triceratops leading the charge again. Buyback from Malady. Talon resets. So that's Shadow Blade onto Jokum, looking for the opening onto Ace. Preemptively uses the Shivas as Watson going in really deep. He is all alone right now. Quinn's going to join the party though. RP, make it a Roar instead onto Quinn. This is going to be a dieback if he's not careful. Nullifier applied to him. He's going to get forced out to the high ground, but he ticks out. He's dead for 2 minutes. No way to get back at all. As the tidal wave bringing the box back, the DHL special. As there's the RP onto 2. The skewer to follow. Is there the follow-up, though? As Makoto continuing to go ham on this bear. The sheep applied it to Watson. He's going to get to safety, though. That's a buyback, though. Onto the Conky. He's going to TP right back into the fray. And the box not going to save the Ursa this time. Just delays the inevitable. Do have buybacks, though. As the Roar now onto a support. Will not be dying, though. That's a lot of buybacks coming out from Gaimin. As Makoto and company have to be a bit careful. That's the Aegis down, and WS getting the brunt of the damage with the Basher coming in from Watson. The Fury swipes applied. He's dead. They have 2 more buybacks if they really want to try to go all in here. Makoto, he's the one doing all the damage. Tofu taking the brunt of that there. Nice tidal wave to give Makoto a little bit of space. He's still taking too much damage as the Ancient apparently falls to the grave. All right. I had no idea.